Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. We're going to be talking about a topic that we've discussed previously, but we've had continued interest in getting some more thoughts about this, and that's investing in watches. A lot of people have asked us if you can actually make money by buying watches and holding them over a period of time. So what we thought we would do is we'd make another video. I think the last time we discussed this, it was a little while ago. And so I'm going to give you kind of like my fresh thoughts and also just some other things to consider when thinking about how you want to invest your money in assets that could possibly appreciate. Before we get into this, I just want to make sure that I say this at the beginning of the video. This is not investment advice. I do not suggest you follow any of my advice without doing your own research. I can give you my thoughts on how I approach this topic, but ultimately the investment advice this is not investment advice, and your investment decisions are based off of your own thoughts, so it's not mine. Also, if you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for us. If you like videos about watches or want to know a little bit more about investing in watches, I think we're going to kind of maybe do a couple more videos about this topic because it's definitely a fun one for us to discuss. Also, right next to that subscribe button is the like button. It'll take you like 1 second. If you wouldn't mind just smashing that like button for us, it really does help us out. So just to recap, I think it was a year ago, maybe a little bit more, we did a post about investing in watches and if you can actually make money in watches, and we kind of defined what the 4 criteria for the definition of an investment is, and that and I'm going to kind of use that just to kind of frame my discussion here as well. I also want to make sure that we make a distinction between an investment and kind of like trading watches. So for me, investing and trading are 2 separate things, and I think people get a little bit caught up on the distinction between the 2. For me, trading is a short-term time frame where you think an asset will appreciate within 1 to 3 months, maybe 6 months at the most. And then investing is something that is over 6 months, a lot longer periods of time. So I want to make sure I'm making that distinction there first. For me, and to go over the 4 criteria that we mentioned, what an investment, how we define an investment was. The first one was it generates income of appreciation. The second was it's not consumed today. The third is that it's sold at a higher price in the future. And fourth, it's not speculation. So that's how I've defined investing. So for me, longer period of time, you expect the asset to appreciate in value, and you're able to definitively say that it would increase in value. And then for trading, I think it's the same thing, but you just shorten the time horizon for that. So I know that there are a lot of people out there that say you can trade watches and make a decent amount of money by doing so. My thought here is that short-term time horizons with investing in watches or just jewelry in general is probably not the best thing for you to kind of take on. I think because the watch industry moves at a much slower pace, it's very hard to identify opportunities where you can purchase something and then make some money over a short period of time. So as an example, Rolex did a bunch of releases recently, and so the previous Submariner with the green dial and green bezel has appreciated in value, and it's really appreciated in value ever since they announced the fact that they were discontinuing it. Now that is a short-term trade that you could have made. You could have speculated that, you know, Rolex was making these releases, they could possibly discontinue these models because you had some type of information that would lead you to think that they would be releasing a new version of the Hulk or a new green bezel Submariner. So that could possibly have been an idea that you would have had. I think a better way of looking at that and how I think you can invest in watches as opposed to trading watches is where you could have said, yes, the green dial green is a green, the Submariner, the Hulk Submariner is something that people really, really like. I'm going to buy it now, and I know that in a couple of years from now, 5-10 years from now, this reference and model will not be in production, and so it will appreciate in value because of its rarity and the fact that people have liked it over this period of time. So I think there's 2 ways that you can kind of look at investing in watches. I think there's something. I think people people kind of mix those up and they want to see if they can flip watches at a short-term time horizon in order to make money, but I don't think that's the best approach. I actually think if you are interested in watches, you like collecting watches, I think you should take the investing approach, where you are purchasing watches that you really like, or have identified as being rare, and then you really just forget about them, and you hold them and you enjoy them and you wear them on your wrist and you enjoy every moment that you have with them, but you're not super focused on when you're going to end up flipping them. I think this can lead you to making some relatively good decisions when it comes to how you want to buy specific models as you go on through your collecting journey. To me, it's kind of like why someone would buy let's say a diamond necklace, right? You are purchasing this because you really like it, but diamonds obviously have an ability to appreciate in value, and perhaps in the future you'd be able to sell it for more. So I think it's smart. You're purchasing watches in a smart way, in a methodical way that can be looked at as an investment, as an asset class that you have within your portfolio that can appreciate in value over time. I know that I've seen, just to kind of so that's kind of my thoughts on investing in watches. I just want to switch over to trading watches. I think trading watches is an extremely difficult thing to do. One, because the time horizon for trading is a shorter term time horizon, and watches in general don't move at very short time horizons. They move at quite long time horizons when you really think about it. Watch brands don't come out with new references or new types of watches every 6 months or every 3 months. It's not something that happens very, very quickly, and watch companies wouldn't do that. That doesn't really make any sense. So just from face value, it's very difficult to speculate that a reference is going to go out of production and therefore would appreciate in value. I think a lot of people also have taken the approach where, okay, let me just see if I can find undervalued references, hold them until people start noticing them, and then end up selling them. I think that's still an approach you can take, but for me, that's more about investing. I still think over 3 months, I don't think a lot is going to happen with that reference that you've decided that you think you could flip for a little bit more. So I think that's still considered investing as opposed to trading. The last thing I want to discuss was how people have oftentimes tried to find bargains on the internet or within the collectors community and then flip it to another collector to try and make a little bit more money. In my opinion, this is so hard to do nowadays with so much information available, so many people interested in watches. It's very hard to find bargains that you can purchase and then sell for a profit. If you are able to do that, your profit really probably isn't going to be as high as you want it to be, and so your margins are going to be tiny. On a $2,000 watch, you're probably looking at no more than $400, and that's if you really have found something super undervalued, where someone actually doesn't know what they're holding. And then if you go through services like PayPal, you're going to end up paying fees on top of that. So I think you may have other opportunities to put that money, that $2,000, to work and probably make a little bit more, but each to their own. So that's kind of my thoughts on trading. As far as investing goes, I do have an interest in that, and I think we have released a couple of videos where we've discussed things to look at when you're looking for investing in a watch. So we can cover those in a later video, but I thought this was a nice little kind of tidbit on how I would approach investing in watches versus trading in watches, and my thoughts on the subject as a whole. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have thoughts on investing in watches, be sure to let us know in the comments section below. Also, if you think I'm off on one of these points, let me know. I'd love to discuss this with you, and it'd be a lot of fun to kind of hear your thoughts on it. Also, if you did not do it in the beginning of the video, be sure to smash that like button for us. It really does help us out, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here and you like these types of videos. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.